Here is a step-by-step guide to compositing horse manure. 1. Pick the right area or location. Start by finding a suitable composite site. Pick an area with simple access that is helpful for errands. If conceivable, pick a level, very much emptied spot far out of streams or wells so any overflow doesn't pollute surface or groundwater. 2. To container or heap. This is your decision, however a receptacle framework commonly helps keep things neater and more straightforward to make do. Canisters can be made with straw bundles, beds, treated wood, or nature blocks, stackable cement, says Youngquist. You generally need somewhere around a few containers or heaps. Heap 1 is the place where you add compost and slow down squander every day. Heap 2 is the place where you screen temperatures consistently and turn the fertilizer on a case-by-case basis, more on each stage in a moment. Heap 3 is in the getting done or restoring stage. You can build products of any of these stages or heaps. To compost and produce heat, each heap ought to be somewhere around 3 cubic feet, the rough size of a clothes washer. In colder environments, heaps should be bigger to produce sufficient hotness, Youngquist adds. 3. Keep it covered. Covering with a canvas, plastic sheet, or a rooftop during the blustery season keeps the fertilizer's significant supplements from washing ceaselessly and creating natural issues. It likewise holds fertilizer back from turning into a wet wreck in the colder time of year and fresh dry in the late spring. Tip: if you live in a blustery region, overload your covering with reused milk or cleanser containers loaded up with rock. Since you should pull the canvas back each time you clean your pony's slow down and enclosure, make the covering arrangement as errand proficient as could be expected. You may even need to connect it to the rear of your manure canister or use bungee strings to get it set up. 4. Get air into the heap. Oxygen is a pivotal part to treating the soil, as once more, microorganisms and growths expect oxygen to accomplish their work and separate natural matter. The least complex method for giving it is to utilize a little farm vehicle to turn the heap. On the off chance that the manure is famished for air, it will become putrid rather than gritty. How regularly you turn it decides how rapidly your manure will be prepared to utilize. Circulated air through static heap, ASP, frameworks utilize a fan rather than precisely turning the heap. This unit requires little taking care of for quite some time until the heap is done, a speculation choice for bigger offices, as this framework can deal with a more prominent volume of material with negligible time venture. Depending of the size of your activity, ASP gear and arrangement costs $500 to $3,000 for a 3-container framework. 5. Keep it moist. Fertilizer ought to be similarly sodden as a wrung-out wipe. For dry environments or in the late spring, find a task-productive method for watering your fertilizer, either with a nursery hose as you turn the heap or by hosing down the excrement and slow down squander every prior day unloading. Manure ought to be sodden yet not dribbling. Assuming that you press a modest bunch of material, wear a glove on the off chance that you like just a drop or two of dampness should crush out from the edge of your hand. 6. Screen the hotness. The hotness the useful microorganisms create can make the heap become genuinely warm around 110 to 160 degrees Fahrenheit. To kill parasites and microbes, manure needs to reach basically 130 degrees Fahrenheit for no less than 3 days, says Youngquist. You can screen temperatures effectively utilizing a since quite a while ago stemmed manure thermometer bought at a plant nursery or nursery store. An expanding temperature implies that the microorganisms are working for yourself and working effectively, Youngquist says. At the point when the temperature goes down, that is the sign that you really want to turn and blend the fertilizer. In the wake of turning a few times, assuming the temperatures stay low, that shows you are moving into the relieving stage and out of the dynamic fertilizing the soil stage. 7. Relieving fertilizer. This is the point at which the completed manure sits and balances out. Worms and little bugs move in and separate it further. At the point when you fix it, cover the manure with a canvas to keep weed seeds from blowing in and colonizing your fertilizer, recommends Youngquist. Fertilizer heaps can remedy for a month as long as a year. The more it fixes the more steady it becomes, and the more outlandish that supplements will filter out at the primary drop of downpour. 8. Completed manure. How effectively you screen your heap's air and water and how often you turn it decides how rapidly it will wrap up. It should take around 90 days, maybe longer in the colder time of year when microbial action eases back. You will realize your fertilizer is prepared when the material looks equally finished, brittle, dim-hued like soil, and is natural smelling. Its temperature ought to be 90 degrees Fahrenheit or less. 9. Put that dark gold to great work. Manure further develops plant and soil well-being and dampness. Utilize a fertilizer spreader or a digging tool to spread it on fields, yards, or nurseries during the developing season. Spread it in a far layer, about 1/4 to 1/2 inch at a time, and no more than 3 to 4 inches per season in a similar region. Subscribe. Thank you.